Hi everyone, welcome back to Have a Beer with Eric. This is beer review number 8, and today we are filming during the middle of the week of Logic. And it's Bottle Logic's anniversary week, and since it's their anniversary, I'm doing the Jam the Radar. It's a barrel aged Imperial Raspberry Stout, and here's the glass for Jam the Radar. You'll probably see it better once I pour the beer in. So today was the third day of the week of Logic. I've gone every day so far. I've got my journal here. Basically, you get the journal. You could get it either Saturday or Sunday, which Sunday was the first day. And every day that you go, you get a beer, and for each beer, you get a stamp. For 3 stamps, you get this bottle opener, and then for 5 days, once Thursday comes, I'll be getting a coffee mug with the Bottle Logic, um, like the brand, and then on the 7th day, they're gonna give a hatchel, and actually they have the picture of the prices. Here you go. So 3 days you get the bottle opener, 5 days you get the mug, 7 days you get the satchel, plus you get into the Academy of Explorers, which is or exploration, which is where you get a guaranteed bottle of each of their stasis beers, which is their barrel aged uh, beer program, mainly stouts or strong ales. And they actually had this one on Sunday on tap, and it was tasting great. So I'm really excited to try this one. Highlights of Week of Logic so far. On Sunday, they had a fantastic stout called Paisley Cave Complex. It was a barrel aged stout with blueberries and marshmallows, and I think maybe vanilla. And it basically tasted actually very similar to Gem de Radar, but basically you take out the raspberries and you put in the blueberries and marshmallow, and it was very good. That's the only beer that has actually tapped out for the event because every day they have several like a different stasis beer, and if it didn't run out the day before, they'll just keep it for the days after. And also with the other beers, the excavation, which is their like beers. A lot of them are Week of Logic exclusive. Some of them may be doing bottling. I've heard that the Paisley Cave Complex will be bottled, so I'm very excited for that. Um, all right, so let's get to the beer. Ooh, it's smelling delicious. Let's try to get some head. There we go. So now you can actually notice the glass better. So that's the front. Then you've got the Gem the Radar logo in the back. Let's see how it has a good amount of head. I was able to get a nice head. It's about a finger of head. It smells a lot of like raspberries and chocolate. So let me read you the full description. This is a Gem de Radar barrel aged Imperial Raspberry Stout, which is Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels and finished with cocoa nibs and raspberries. It is 500 milliliters, 13.7% alcohol. Um, it does not have a bottling date, but it was released around last month, so it's around a month old. And it says to drink fresh, so we'll see how it tastes. And food pairings is Maytag Blue. I don't know why they have Maytag. Machaca and raspberry truffle. All right, let's try it out. Wow, that is delicious. It's uh, it's very thick, very viscous. very jammy. It tastes just like as if you're eating like raspberry jam, but it has like a chocolate twist. It's kind of like chocolate covered raspberries, pretty much. It's really good. This is probably my favorite Stasis beer from Bottle Logic that I've had. This one and Mixes Pedalic are my two favorite Stasis beers. So we have a summary which says, enter level 2 clearance. At last we meet for the first time for the last time. This sci-fi spoof of our Dark Star November Imperial Stout is finished with rich cocoa nibs and a juicy combination of black and red raspberries. This decadent desert beer, or dessert beer, drinks like the liquid form of its chocolate truffle inspiration and transmission. So, if you guys didn't know, if you haven't gotten the two references yet already, this beer is actually inspired by the movie Spaceballs. There's a scene where the main protagonist shoots. They're in space and they shoot a glass of jam, raspberry jam, into the radar of the enemy ship, and technically they jam the radar, and basically the quote of the villain is jammed. No, it's like yes, jammed. Um, only no, actually never mind. I can't exactly remember the quote, but he's like the only one that jams people with raspberries, and so they decided to name it Jam the Radar. Then also another reference is at last we meet for the first time for the last time. That's when the villain and the protagonist fight. And if you guys didn't know, Spaceballs is a spoof of Star Wars. So it's a pretty funny movie. You guys should definitely watch it. That is super tasty. It's very at the same time that it's very thick. It's also very easy to drink. It's definitely a dessert beer. It's really nice. It's like almost 14%, and there's no way that this feels like 14%. Like I'm drinking it, and I could probably like, not that I would want to, but if I wanted to, I could easily drink most of this while doing the review. But obviously, I want to talk more about beer, so we're not going to do that. But yeah, I got to taste more on tap today at the Week of Logic. They also had the Roll for Initiative, which was the anniversary beer on Sunday. And then yesterday they had the what beer did they have? So, okay, on this journal you can see all the releases that they're doing. So you can see Sunday they had Roll for Initiative and Jam the Radar. And then yesterday they had an early blend of Ground State, which is it's going to be the upcoming Ground State. And they had the backwards compatibility that came out a couple months ago. And then today they had two variants of Dark Star November. That was the Malahat Distillery. They had a bourbon and a rum variant. And they're both pretty tasty. So far, I've enjoyed every beer. I got to try backwards compatibility as well, and it was pretty tasty, even though a lot of people don't like it. And then tomorrow we have Stronger Than Fiction, early blend. And then, so the early blends are basically previews of how the beer is going to turn out. And that's how people will know how good the beer will be when it gets bottled. And then Thursday, they're going to have a Leche Reserva. It's a Week of Logic exclusive. And basically, for when they made a Leche Borracho a couple of years ago, they saved some of the beer on the barrels, and so they're gonna have that on tap. And then Friday, they're gonna have the Space Trace. So there's gonna be another Space Trace bottle this year. And then lastly, for Saturday, they're gonna have it's basically Fundamental Observation Day. They're gonna have Fundamental Observation 2017, then an early blend of 2018, and they're gonna have a 2017 FO Reserve, Fundamental Observation Brewers Reserve. So they held some barrels back from the 2017 batch and they aged it for a full 18 months, and now they're going to have it at the event. So this is going to be probably the biggest day of them all, and it's on a Saturday, so it's going to be pretty much packed all day. But I can't wait to try all these Stasis beers. And it also has the excavation beers here, which is their other barrel aged stuff that they'll have. Yeah, it's pretty nice that they give you all this info. So it ends with a pretty cool map right here. And then at the front, you get a map of the week of logic. And then you have, where is it? So you have a tasting protocol too. They help you learn the appearance, aroma, first sip, mouthfeel, and finish of the beers. So we can kind of go through this a little bit too. So appearance, you do like a color, clarity, head retention, and lacing. So the lacing will be whenever like the foam kind of like stays on the glass, that'll be the lacing. So we already saw the color, head retention, and then aroma. So it's basically a very chocolatey, raspberry, mainly because it has actual raspberries in it. But other stouts you'll usually get like the roasted malts or maybe even like chocolate or coffee. And the first sip, we already did the first sip. So and they tell you that you should jot down whatever flavor you think of right away, or if it's like a memory or a specific food. So obviously this one will remind you of like raspberries and chocolate, hopefully. So it says take a sip, let the beer warm, and then let it like go on the palate, swallow, and then exhale. So even though I already did my first sip, let's see. Yeah, that's really nice. Also, the exhaling will help you notice the ABV a bit more, and actually was able to tell that right when I exhaled it was a bit boozy. And then the mouthfeel, I already said it's like a thick, viscous, like chocolatey. Obviously, it's not warm. It's pretty cold since I took it out of the fridge. The carbonation's like low to medium. It's not like crazy carbonated, so that's really good. And then the finish, once you like you finish the beer, like what's the aftertaste? What makes you think afterwards? Like what's like you finish your beer and then you're like, it tastes a bit different. It tastes like something else. But this beer is just straight up chocolates and raspberries all through the way throughout. But it's really cool that they have all these. That way you can enjoy the beer better, especially with all the beer that they have. But yeah, it's a really nice. And then of course you guys already saw it. It includes this lanyard. But I'm excited to keep going every single day. Get that mug and get the satchel, because also Indiana wears one, and get my Academy of Exploration for the future releases. I really like how smooth it is. Starting to warm up a little. Well, it's still like pretty cold, but compared to the first sip, it's starting to be a little warmer. It's becoming a little boozier too as it warms up. I'm starting to taste towards the back end as I'm swallowing the beer. I'm starting to taste the the alcohol a bit. It's not right away. Like if you do like if you do just a quick sip, you just get a bunch of raspberries and like no alcohol. But if you do like a longer sip and you like let it settle for a little bit in your mouth, you'll get more chocolatey and boozy taste. So this is a really nice beer to enjoy. Um, Probably a very good one to share since it's almost 14%. But so I'm doing the review myself and I'm home alone. I'm just gonna enjoy this beer and then probably take a nap. Or it's almost 8 o'clock. This is a review at night. But just probably gonna chill with this, maybe watch a movie, and then probably sleep early because I've been going to Bottle Logic for the week of Logic very early. Like I get there almost at opening, that we don't hit traffic on the way back. And usually there's no lines at opening time, so that's perfect. And yeah, let me know if you're going to the week of Logic and you want to share beer, want to talk. Um, Subscribe to my channel, like, comment. Go follow my Instagram. It's also Have a Beer with Erik. Look at my Untapped. On Sunday we did a bottle share up in Anaheim after the first day of Week of Logic. So I had a ton of new beers on there, included a 2016 Fufun from Cantillon. That was really nice, very smooth. We definitely had some great beers on the share, so check out my Untapped. I put in over like around 35 beers, so it was pretty nice. But yeah, and then I think we have another share on Thursday, so that should be pretty fun as well. And then Saturday we'll be going to the Abnormal anniversary and then going to Bottle Logic, so it'll be a very fun and exciting day. Yeah, let me know if you want to meet up at some point and have a beer. All right, well, that's it for today. Cheers, guys.